gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special, Hour 2. And you know what that means on a Tuesday. Our boy 24KG is here.
Yeet! How you guys doing this morning?
This is the good version. Okay, we got the old version. We didn't get humble, which is actually kind of better.
No, they're both horrible.
The humble. Well, actually, this one's not terrible. Like I'm not against this one, but Logan Paul's new theme, the humble song, is just ridiculous.
It fits them, but I like the Maverick previous.
Yeah,
that one really good. Hey, guys, guess what? We've got the Early Bird Special shirts available right now for you guys.
Well, not available.
I just got mine exclusively.
I understand.
We've got a couple.
We've got a couple listeners.
They're quite hot in the streets, as the kids would say.
Yes, they're
right.
limited.
They're
very limited at the moment.
As the
Limited
limited
edition.
ones came out. But I'm working on some purple ones and some blue ones that will be hopefully done here in a couple weeks.
I hope.
Thank you.
I need the purple one.
Thank you, fellas.
I need the purple one. I got one
for Judgment Day when they come to town.
Well, of course, but I got one promised to somebody that needs to be purple. Apparently, as that is what I've been told.
Could it be Roxanne Perez?
Again,
Wolfpack,
potentially new member of the Judgment Day.
No, see,
yeah.
We can get into that right now too.
That was hilarious, by the way.
And she brought the tendies.
Did you see what Dom posted afterwards?
No.
The song he posted, I'm Not Coming Back. That country song between Finn's face and his face. That was great television last night. Let's kick it off, gentlemen. Go
absolutely.
Ahead, Chris.
So actually, before we get into last night, I have to do some self-indulgent stuff. Did either of you watch the finale of LFG on Sunday?
Not yet.
I caught the highlights, and I'm going to keep it real. Great show. I have no problems with the show at all. But the titles, how they're awarded.
I didn't watch it yet.
Okay,
is it good?
It's very good.
It's
the
good.
finale is
Great
very
television.
well done.
I'm caught up, but not to that one yet.
I'm not excited about who was chosen. I'll leave it at that.
We're not going to drop any spoilers, but I remember a day when WWE had unique looking titles. Now everything's the corporate logo with just a affiliation or brand extension stamp onto it, unlike it being originally crafted, something like the NXT title. You know, I was expecting something different, and that's my own fault because expectations usually lead you down.
I'm pretty sure they showed the title at the very beginning of the show.
Well,
did they get into the NXT Battle Royale yet?
Yeah, no, that happened a couple weeks ago.
Who won that?
That ended up being Miles Bourne, who is going to be going up. Or do they have a PLE this weekend or is it next weekend?
I think it's next weekend. Don't quote me on that. But Miles Bourne, the AKA heir apparent to Randy Orton, is on fire right now.
Deaf superstar too,
which is insanely dope and crazy because I'm not sure how it works as far as communication. If he reads lips, I'm going to do some research into that.
He has to.
If he has somewhat of an audio ability, can he hear partially? Maybe. Don't know that yet, but we'll report back on that.
I'm pretty sure there are surgeries that you can get that essentially allow you to hear certain sounds.
But he is the first legitimately deaf and ASL superstar that is doing quite well on the roster. And that's something, when you think about it, you shouldn't be so amazed by, but we are, because there are wrestlers with communication barriers from different countries that they can't understand each other.
This is just another one of those.
Yes, but can you imagine being deaf and in an arena full of 3 to 4, 5, even 10,000 people at a time and having to communicate with the person you're doing this with at such a high caliber level? The athleticism and just the chemistry that you have to have for that with somebody is amazing. And on top of being hearing impaired, I take my hat off to the man, and that's a sensational thing right there. You guys couldn't see it, but I flicked the hat bill, and that's what we do. So let's get into Raw, man. Some talking points that you got.
So let's start actually with Roxanne Perez being lingered into the Judgment Day, or at least somewhat brought in.
I think more so brought in as a talking point to distract Dominic Mysterio from Liv. As you see, Finn is the devil incarnate.
The internet is already running with this.
My boy Finn Balor, Finny B over there.
So basically, for a little bit of background for people who are not following, the Judgment Day, which is a group of Dominic Mysterio, the son of longtime luchador Rey Mysterio, along with his little band of hoodlums with his
thugs
girlfriend Liv Morgan, who is away at the moment shooting a movie,
and she's supposed to be back next week,
supposedly. But Finn Balor, the pseudo leader, I guess, of the group, longtime wrestler and just legend of the entire thing, or of the entire industry, is being built up to break away from the group here in the WWE, and has, in my opinion, planted the seeds of what will essentially be the breakup of the entire group in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm now sensing the internet wants Dom to go through another cheating arc, as he did a couple months ago with Rhea Ripley, and essentially move over to the next prodigy, which is Roxanne Perez, the girl who just signed with the main roster literally yesterday.
Well, unfortunately, some of the best groups in the history of entertainment have disintegrated due to a woman's interjection. And that's just due to storyline basis. Hey, it happened to the Five Heartbeats. It happened to the Beatles. And it looks like it's happening to the Judgment Day, folks.
But see, are we ready to go have Liv go through that depressed arc in her career? Because you know that's where it's headed.
It's going to be great feedback for audiences that don't like her. And essentially the storyline possibilities of Dominic doing what he essentially did to Rhea Ripley to Liv is a pattern of behavior that these type of male characters have when being, just a little too, as they say, masculinely toxic.
Now,
these days.
My theory, or at least what I am believing is going to come from this, is although we will get a breakup of the Judgment Day, I think we're going to get a forming of the Bullet Club.
You got to tell me, what the hell is that?
Okay, Bullet Club is basically, you could say, the offspring of the NWO. Not literally, but in a sense of how they were formed, faction-wise, attitude-wise. Finn Balor and the GODs and a couple of other superstars in New Japan about 10 years ago?
Yeah, maybe even more than that.
Maybe 10, 15 years ago, started this Gaijin club of foreigners that were coming in and just wrecking shop. AJ Styles usurped Finn Balor as leader of that group originally. And now all the iterations and incarnations that we have scattered throughout the industry are because of these 5 main individuals.
And who is?
That would be Finn Balor, AJ Styles, the Gorillas of Destiny, who we know as the Tongans.
Okay.
And there's one more guy who was like their heavy, their muscle.
Okay.
He's not with the company, though.
No, he's not with New Japan or anybody right now. I believe he's retired. But it was quite the impressionable faction. So to get their hands on that copyright would be awesome for WWE. And I think that what we're going to get is another iteration of the club. Not to say that because they don't own the rights or they can't acquire the rights to Bullet Club, but there's so many different versions. You got the Gun Club, the Young Guns, Bang Bang Gang, and AEW.
Well, there's a couple in New Japan right now, too, that are like the War Dogs or something like that. And there's a whole faction like split into 4 or 5 different companies.
It's insane. The tree of the Bullet Club is very long in wrestling as far as how that branch stretches out.
Well, not even just
all the federations,
not even just the group, but the logo itself has gone past wrestling, because most people that I've seen wear a Bullet Club shirt have no idea what it is.
What they're wearing.
Did you get that at the ammo auction?
Yeah, exactly.
It would just be cool to, because I've heard a lot about this Bullet Club. So I mean, I'm a big fan of Finn separate, just as a wrestler. So I mean, I've been waiting for a while for them to break off.
Kind of what I think is coming, though, is that we're going to get Roxanne as the one to jam the wedge between Dom and Liv, with Finn stirring everything in his pocket, while at the same time he's pulling away JD and everybody he wants out of that group to go join the Bullet Club, including Roxanne, while leaving Dom alone and Liv and Raquel all breaking apart.
Did you see the size of those tendies? Those things are more like patties. Okay. like in a donut box, nonetheless, laid out all symmetrically.
Homie, have you never had Tyson chicken nuggets before?
Those were way bigger than I expected.
I don't know about that. Those look like generic Tyson chicken.
They could have been arena. They could have been arena nuggets.
They could have been
arena like nuggets. the new strips at McDonald's.
Hey,
fantastic.
Which are pretty good.
That name is crazy.
It really is.
Okay, you guys gotta let me know what those are. I was like, what is the what? The dipping in the what and the stripping in the what?
Other raw. I mean, if you want to talk McDonald's, the Minecraft hot sauce took me. I thought,
there's a
hot
Minecraft
sauce.
Chicken jockey.
They did. They had
chicken jockey. It hit you like that.
Oh yeah, that hot sauce was super hot.
Lava chicken.
And I was like, it's not gonna be that hot. It's McDonald's. They're not gonna serve hot sauce to kids. And sure enough, I love hot sauce. So I mean, I was going in there. Okay,
I'm a hot sauce connoisseur.
So I mean, I've done the hot ones challenge a few different times, and this one should be up there.
They put a couple Scoville units in there.
Speaking of hot ones, I literally have a bottle of Da Bomb in my house.
Oh yeah,
it's not worth it. Trust me. Anybody listening to my voice, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Do it once.
If you do, tag us and let us see.
You
the
might
reaction.
get a shirt.
Yeah, you might get a shirt. That's not guaranteed.
We'll give you something because your life is going to change.
Besides a lot of pain.
Yeah, that's a ton of pain.
Quick question: how'd you guys feel about? Of course, we know we have the Worlds Collide event coming up after this Saturday night's main event and a few PLEs. With the interference of El Grande Americano once again. Just sticking his nose. Well, that
headbutt to the back of the head.
The loaded mask and Penta and AJ Styles match, which was a phenomenal match, pun intended. That Canadian Destroyer on the outside to JD the Iron Lung McDonough really had me like, yo, this guy is the new Dolph Ziggler when it comes to selling. I'm sorry, the way
I don't know, dude. Austin Theory sells better, in my opinion.
Well, if put it like this. In a level of comparison over the years, Dolph Ziggler has been the margin of where selling is judged. Almost comparable to Shawn Michaels. Now, for those that don't know, selling is the term of how someone sells the offense from another opponent. Whereas if someone doesn't and their character is perceived as invulnerable, that sell's not going to happen. No. But if it's believable, there's going to be a lot of back and forth selling that compels the audience to get encouraged into the match. All right, now back to it. With that being said, JD McDonough almost looks like he's injured with every major move set that ends on a sell, comparable to Dolph Ziggler. He was the guy. I would think he would get hurt every time. But nonetheless, this guy is more durable than a 97 Nissan in LA going through different owners. Okay. Like that, imagine that. Okay, so this guy's been through the ringer plenty of times. So hats off to JD McDonough. For those that can see it, sensational right there. Seriously. Now that backstage segment with Logan Paul, I'm just gonna say this, even though I kind of go 50-50 between him being the third man, last night did kind of get those spidey senses on the back of my neck standing up.
Well, we talked about this off the air.
Yes, we did. And honestly, what you saw last night made me kind of laugh because I brought this up to Sparky. You notice that Seth went up and talked to everybody. And actually, if you want to count, Paul went up and talked to somebody as well that has been rumored to be the next guy in the group. Paul talked to Jay and Seth talked to Logan, Gunther, and Austin all in the same night.
Yeah.
Now, I'm starting
curveballs at us.
I'm starting to believe Austin Theory is a little too on the nose now. I think it's a little too easy, like you guys said last week. I'm starting to feel what you're putting down. However, I don't think it's Logan either. After that conversation of we could run it back at WrestleMania and blah, 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 like I don't see Logan Paul being the choice.
What if it was
I don't think it's going to be Yee. Although I do like this mean streak that he's been on. I think that Paul Heyman's words yesterday of Braun Breaker wanting to stunt his momentum meant a lot. However, I think we're going to get a pseudo mirror to what happened with the Shield. I think it's going to be Sami Zayn.
I hope not.
I think Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event is going to put a chair to CM Punk's back.
They always turn on CM Punk, which I enjoy.
Our modern day Mick Foley Sami Zayn, God bless his soul.
Mick was a heel at points.
Yes.
And he was a dang good one too.
We're not even going to go into the Mankind era because that was nightmare fuel.
Mr. Sacco.
That was nightmare fuel.
Just saying.
Okay, that mandible claw, the way he did Undertaker
Choke
dirty in
people
that
off.
boiler room, ripping out his own hair. That was the embodiment of just sick.
Have
back
a nice
then.
day.
Oh God, stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, man. Like
I was telling him how cool would it be if they just grabbed everybody and just made a big ass group.
You know, I would love to see that, but the WWE doesn't do factions that big anymore.
Yeah.
What about Austin Theory? I mean, I did see him backstage with the New Day.
Which I'm gonna keep it real. The Atlanta boys, Xavier Woods and Austin.
That
Theory.
Jerry Curl, man, I just love.
Hey, it's like Razor Ramon meets Bone Thugs or something. I don't know what he's doing with it, but he's gotten in great shape.
Yes,
and Kofi Kingston, they're really on a great heel run, which people forgot. The New Day started off as heels and became so popular so quickly that it went to tweener to face overnight. So I feel like they never got to finish their heel run. And this is a great conclusion of it. I wish we had some kind of payoff with Big E and all that. But, hey, we're getting what we're getting. And it's kind of the only thing holding together the tag division on Raw right now, so to speak, because on SmackDown, you've got the Street Profits who are on fire and can't have a bad match. And let me just stop right there. Because speaking of not ever having a bad match, hats off to Sheamus. Three sensational clicks right there. Sheamus gave Grayson Waller the business. And honestly, speaking of selling, Grayson Waller is not really my favorite, but he did a good job last night to set up this whole breakup that they've been teasing for what, a year now?
At least.
It's so dead with these characters. So let's just get Austin Theory off of that, maybe on the Seth Rollins faction. If not, it'll be a great piece of character building for these guys. Nonetheless, Spark, I have to agree with you on certain things when it comes to this third man theory. Before I go into it.
No, you're good. Go.
Now, Logan Paul seems like he would fit, but never did I ever think that Gunther possibly.
That would be so awesome.
You already have a heavy. You already have a beast with Braun Breaker. This is almost like cheating. This is double stacking the card against the odds of a very reputable faction. Could you imagine Gunther, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker? Even though those personalities will collide over this world title picture eventually, initially, that's a thought that never crossed my mind. So,
Gunther would be my choice. Another change-up would be Rusev. That would be awesome. And they're setting him up to be like the guy that wants to get into people's head and make the best out of them and, beat the crap out of them. And they look like they're kind of lost on what they're doing with him. I mean, for the next couple of weeks, they'll probably just beat the crap out of.
I'm just kind of tired of everybody coming in and just running shop through Alpha Academy.
Exactly.
Like Alpha Academy just seems to be the
job squad.
Of
the 2020s.
It's what what the other group that they came from. What is his name? I always call him Kurt Angle.
American Made.
Yeah, it's like now the American Made's trying to lift up with the Creed brothers, which I would not be shocked if they pulled the titles this weekend. But I mean, the Alpha Academy has been just the test match pretty much. They beat the crap out of them, and
Otis just is good to get his
dance
and get beat up.
Otis used to be such a monster, bro.
He really did.
I love
another
Alpha
Olympic
Academy.
wrestler too.
Yeah, I love when Alpha Academy was just Gable and Otis shaved his beard and was just a monster, bro. Now, even though he looked like a human toe with muscles,
maybe that's what we're gonna get, though. That's kind of what the whole Rusev thing is that he wants to change you through through wrestling. So maybe that's what's gonna happen is Otis comes back as like,
oh man, with him and Braun Breaker, that would be scary stuff.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of Braun Breaker, though, the internet is now running around with the theory that he's going to be the man to win Money in the Bank this year.
Are we getting a fast track on the Evolution storyline already?
I'm just saying. Like, I could see him or Karrion Kross winning it. What do you think?
Kross would be awesome.
Speaking of Karrion Kross, #1 merch seller right now online.
That's why I think
in the arenas.
Be him.
He's been on Main Event several weeks in a row, getting phenomenal reactions. I know Triple H is a master of the slow burn, but I think Karrion Kross is one of those guys who's organically gotten over without WWE's assistance. Triple H's guy, who he's been very, very careful on, not more so say protecting the character, but making sure he has opportunities to develop. And you're really starting to hear an outcry online on why he's not more so on main event television.
Yep.
They have him in the segments in between, Netflix, how they view, how they, broadcast here in the US is not the same everywhere else. So we're missing a lot of intros. We're missing a lot of backstage segments or questionnaire segments.
Those are the
with
best
Kathy
parts.
Kelly. Yeah.
That we're missing.
And Karrion Kross is great on the mic. He commands a presence. And in the ring, we've seen that he can go with the best of them. So he's going to get his time. And I really hope we see that soon, especially involving Money in the Bank coming up. That's all free space and opportunity right there for you to build a new star, everybody.
And honestly, I just love seeing him in the background, just pumping up his own shirt, just handing it off to people.
There you go.
It's just hilarious.
I mean, before we get into the deeper stuff, I mean, just some prayers out to Zoe Stark, man.
Oh,
that looked
looked
ugly.
Okay, but can I just say this? Not trying to throw shade.
Go ahead.
This is the first time we've seen her in a while.
Yeah.
It was filling that match.
And does anybody else kind of feel like this is kind of because of that? Like maybe she was rusty?
Well,
because looking at the drop kick she was trying to go, it was pretty traditional. And I don't know what happened. Like her leg didn't come out from under her or something. I really don't know.
Go right ahead.
I mean, I thought I had to Google it a few times when they previewed it in the beginning. I was like, I thought they fired her.
Well,
no.
This is
get her in that whole
was
group
just
mixed up.
And this is where I agree with you in some aspect on this, because WWE used to do a lot of house shows throughout the year.
Right. And they're cutting back on those.
They have cut them more in half. They're only at 200 house shows, which used to provide a certain aspect of the company's revenue.
Which we say only 200. That's 200 days out of the
200
year.
days. They used to be on the road like 24/7. So they say it's great for the wrestler's body and overall long-term career. But I want you guys to think about this. With road shows cut in half, you're now looking at subsidizing where you're going to get the rest of that income from those shows from. Thus, ticket prices have gone up. Thus, merch has gone up. But we're at phenomenal, this is my word of the day, selling points as far as merch, consumables from the website, ticket sales. Everything has gone up.
It's never been higher.
It's never been higher to make up for these house shows. Now, also what we're losing is the repetition that some of these stars would get that are not on TV constantly, that we've seen that when we've gone to house shows, we're like, oh, that guy's still around, or this person's still doing this. And it's because that's where they, start storylines, see where they can go. And because of less repetitions, maybe this is why she got injured. Maybe the mat wasn't.
It was a freak accident. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
it's not like something bad happened.
There was all sorts of slipping around last night during Raw. So
it might be the new color or texture or logos that are on the mat. And this might be a reason why Vince McMahon didn't ever want to put logos on the mat. There was an incident a few years ago with Adrian Neville. They call him Pac, where he did a baseball slide and the mat wasn't secured down, much like Zoe Stark's with the whole coming in.
It's like the home slide a couple weeks ago in baseball.
And it tweaked his ankle and snapped it practically. This was such a horrendous injury. If you guys want to see it, go right ahead and look for it on your own. Prayers out to Zoe Stark. She's had previous knee injuries. She's a phenomenal talent, but she's also had a history of kind of being reckless with certain moves we've seen in the Royal Rumble.
But see, this wasn't a reckless move. It was a traditional drop kick.
And that's usually how the injuries that you don't expect to happen.
Absolutely.
And hey, kudos to Rhea and Roxanne for doing their thing.
Man, they got to stop with the man and Lyra.
Yeah,
it's not going to end. It's never going to end.
She's coming off cringe at this point.
It's the only person she can wrestle. I'm going to stand by that statement. The only person that Lyra Valkyria can wrestle is Becky Lynch. That's it.
And with her interference in the match last night with Natalya, God bless Natalya.
She had a hell of a match too.
I mean, she cooked last night.
She did everything she could.
She held together the sandwich that was that burger.
The
or whatever you want to call
double
it.
Sharpshooter was beautiful. I
thought
that was really
sensational.
Awesome.
I've not seen that in years.
I was happy to see Kairi Sane back. But I mean, it was bad timing because Zoe's injury. They were like, man, we got to wrap up this match.
From that match.
Well, they had to really pivot on that point, and just I'm pretty sure Zoe was there to take the finish. And shout out to Kairi Sane and just everybody that was contributing to that match, finishing
up. A rough riptide to take.
Oh, man.
With the last couple minutes left in the segment, is there any predictions you got for Saturday night's main event?
I mean, I'm gonna go with your prediction on Sami Zayn doing some type of shenanigation.
Sammy ends up being the third. If it's not Austin Theory, it's got to be Sami Zayn. And then, I mean, Jey Uso versus Logan. We're all it's got to be Jey.
Then you've got R-Truth and John Cena, which is a non-title match, which we could see more shenanigans go down. So what if R-Truth wins, or we see that long extended count with a knocked referee? It's going to be some type of botch-ism. Yeah. So
now I'm expecting it just to be John against his greatest hits. It's going to be R-Truth just doing John's greatest hits against John.
So it's just going to be John in the ring with John.
Yeah,
and then watching John's clip that they showed last night where he beat up on Michael Cole.
Oh, with the barbecue sauce.
That was God.
I want to know
television.
I want to know what that tattoo was on Michael Cole's leg. Yeah. That was the Pat McAfee nailed it. That was very awkward placement.
Absolutely.
So any title changes?
No title changes, but I would also go with Damian Priest over Drew McIntyre. And I say this only because Damian Priest had a street named after him in New York, but also this is kind of like getting over in your hometown before a PLE, so he might lose. He might lose. It's a steel cage match, and Drew McIntyre has to build some momentum on PLEs and television once again, which they've been cooking him up to do and serve nicely.
What about any returns? Do you see Cody coming back before or after? Or close to it?
I could see Cody Rhodes coming back to help R-Truth if John Cena really starts to like mangle and manhandle him. And let's just say we get some color with R-Truth, right? To see R-Truth bleed would really be like, oh my God, like Cena. They
Cody come out and help him.
Yeah, come on. The heartstrings, the compellingness of the storytelling would be great.
No, but that's kind of that's the point I was going to get to too. Do you guys kind of see this as John not fighting his fans, but like kind of showing his fans that I don't need any of you anymore because his biggest fan is R-Truth?
Well, honestly, John Cena's.
This is like a pseudo like John versus the fans match.
Psychologically, man, you just dropped a bomb on me right there with that one, because it really is, honestly, when you think about it. R-Truth represents those fans. He's John Cena's biggest fans.
That never turned on.
This is a smack in the face to them. And if he can get color out of Truth the hard way or scripted, I think it'll
What if this retires Truth?
Wow, I don't think he would retire. Stop.
But like pseudo retire.
I can't take this. All right. It's drawing
I'm talking about I'm talking about Liv getting all depressed. Shoot, R-Truth is going to be depressed on Monday.
If you guys haven't seen R-Truth's story on these interviews with Chris Van Vliet, he's come a long way. He's actually the first NWA champion of being an African-American man that was an NWA champion.
He's an underground rapper.
He's met Pac. He's done a lot of things, and he's 54, but wrestles like he's 34.
Yeah.
In great shape, almost lost his leg a few years ago due to a really bad staph infection, and just overcame a lot in his life of personal adversity and things. And he real good person. If you ever meet him or have an interaction, awesome with the fans. But I'd never fathomed that he would retire. And if this would be the perfect time for R-Truth to have his last match with John Cena. I hate you for that, bro.
Well, I only brought up the Cody thing is because with the SmackDown coming to town here in a couple weeks, I'm seeing Cody's face on him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
And honestly, Cody is coming back here pretty soon. I think Roman comes back pretty soon, too.
And I also read over the last week since we've had KG on that Roman is going to be really barely sprinkled in wrestling for the next few months.
He's been compiling a lot of movie roles. So I'm not saying having your cousin as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson helps a little bit.
But, let's also not forget that he goes through leukemia treatments and stuff, or leukemia treatments.
Oh yeah,
and all that type of stuff too. So he's battling that.
If you haven't watched Stephanie's Place's the episode with him. It was pretty damn good.
With the entire family.
Yeah.
And
she's got a new show, another one coming out that they pumped up yesterday.
And that's actually, before we get out of here, that's why I believe it's Sami Zayn, because let's not forget that Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman work together in the bloodline.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
So there's connection.
And that's the only person they haven't talked to.
Exactly.
But I mean, they
not
did
in front of us.
They did in the beginning.
Plus,
because
Sami
that was
Zayn,
the first one.
Also goes back to War Games.
Night.
It also goes back to War Games. Sami Zayn asked Seth Rollins to join that team before CM Punk. Yep. So this is.
And honestly,
I don't like Sami.
Sami running out to the ring yesterday, though, to protect Jay and then just stopping at ringside waiting for Punk to get there seemed kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me as a wrestling fan.
It was probably smart.
The breadcrumbs.
Walk in with
and
Seth.
Like, he's slicking his hair back a little bit more. He's cleaning up the beard again like he did when he was in the bloodline. I'm just saying.
Well, we did get one text before we wrap up. They said, do you think New Day loses the titles this weekend?
Nah.
I don't see him losing it, but it's definitely going to be a hell of a three-way next week on Raw. Because
if anybody does it, I don't think it'll be War Raiders.
No, I think it'll be the Creed brothers more than War Raiders.
And I would be kind of on that one.
Yeah, I would love to see the Creed brothers with the title. You get some fresh faces on there. New Day has been cemented as a Hall of Fame tag team before this, so anything they do extra is just contributing to the product.
Real quick, too, I know we only got like a minute, but one last match most likely will be added to main event on Friday, I would assume, because there's only 4 on the card right now. So who do you think it's going to be?
Ooh, what do we have as far as possibilities over there?
Because, I mean, it's got to be somebody on the female side because
as of right now,
match has been male-dominated.
So far, we've got McIntyre
it's McIntyre and Priest, Cena and Truth, Punk and Sammy against Rollins and Braun,
and Paul and
Uso. So I'm assuming it's going to be a women's match.
Is it going to be Becky?
It'll probably be Becky and Lyra, and they'll run,
or maybe Zelina and Chelsea.
They'll do a rematch from Craplash, and we'll see.
That was a good match.
Okay, so
that was a way better match than I expected.
Spark, you was like, 3 for 3.
He's infatuated, man. He's infatuated with the Lyra stuff.
I know. Hey, honestly, Lyra's character is growing on me because they're giving her a more realistic.
Well, she's wearing that skirt now.
Well, there's a lot of things that could grow on the human body. We didn't say any of them were good for you.
The one good thing I will say is I do think Becky gets the title around the same time Seth gets the title, and she jumps and she jumps together.
Surprise comeback, Bailey. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yep.
Oh God.
Hey, that's your girl, man. Quit fronting. Quit fronting, man.
She is horrible. She is horrible. She needs to retire with our truth.
Oh, good Lord.
But we'll
he has a poster of Bailey for motivation.
We
right
appreciate
above his
it.
bed.
He's like,
he wakes up every morning.
Mine's Asuka. Is it Asuka?
Asuka.
That's who I'm waiting.
Well, she had a very horrific knee injury that it required extensive surgery. I would hope to see her back by Money in the Bank, but
Well, we'll have plenty to talk with you next week. Plus, by then we'll only be 2 weeks away from SmackDown being here in town. So we enjoy and appreciate you coming out. We'll get back into some basketball. We'll do some previews of tonight's game right here on the Early Bird Special, ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM.